There comes a moment in your life where you stop recognizing the person in the mirror. Not because you've changed your clothes, not because you've aged, but because something deeper has shifted. Something inside you has died, and something else is trying to be born. But no one tells you this part. No one tells you that growth doesn't feel like becoming. It feels like losing yourself. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." But what he didn't say, at least not directly, is that before you can accept yourself, you must first destroy the version of you that was never real. From the moment you were born, you were shaped by your parents, by your culture, by fear, by expectations you never agreed to. You learned what to say, how to act, what version of yourself would be accepted. Jung called this the persona, the mask you wear to survive the world. And for a long time it works. It protects you. It helps you belong. But there's a cost. Because the longer you wear the mask, the more you forget what's underneath it. Growth doesn't begin with motivation. It begins with discomfort, a quiet dissatisfaction that slowly turns into something unbearable. You start questioning everything. Why do I feel empty even when life is okay? Why do I feel like I'm pretending all the time? Why do I feel disconnected from myself? This is not weakness. This is the beginning of awakening. Your false self is cracking. Here's the truth most people avoid. You cannot grow without losing something. And sometimes what you lose is yourself. The version of you that people liked, the version that felt safe, the version that knew exactly who it was. It starts slowly. You stop enjoying what you used to love. You pull away from people who once felt like home. You question beliefs you once defended. And suddenly, you're alone. Not physically, but psychologically. You are no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. This is the most dangerous phase, because it feels like falling apart, when in reality, you're breaking free. Jung believed that every human carries a shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject. Your anger, your jealousy, your dark thoughts, the things you hide even from yourself. When you begin to grow, this shadow doesn't disappear. It rises, and it demands to be seen. That's why growth feels so dark, because suddenly you're not just facing your potential, you're facing everything you've buried. And it's terrifying, because you realize you're not as good as you thought. You're not as pure as you believed. You're human. At this point, something strange happens. You begin to lose your sense of identity. You ask, who am I without my past, without my habits, without the roles I played? And there's no answer. Just silence. This is where most people stop growing. They run back to comfort, back to the mask, back to the illusion. Because uncertainty feels like death. But Jung saw this differently. He believed this emptiness is necessary. Because you cannot discover who you truly are while holding on to who you were told to be. Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming your true self. But it's not a beautiful journey. It's not peaceful. It's chaotic, painful, lonely, because it requires letting go of approval, letting go of certainty, letting go of identities that once defined you. It requires you to stand alone without knowing who you are yet. And that's why it feels like losing yourself. Because you are. But here's the part most people never reach. If you don't run, if you don't escape, something begins to change. Slowly, a new self emerges. Not one built on fear, but on truth. You stop pretending. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing to be understood. And for the first time, you feel real. Not perfect, not complete, but authentic. So if you feel lost right now, if you feel like you're disappearing, like you don't know who you are anymore, good. Because maybe you're not losing yourself. Maybe you're finally shedding everything that was never you. And what feels like destruction is actually transformation. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." But before you can choose, you must first face the darkness and survive it.